Thank you, Minister Liew, for accepting our interview today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Since this is the 5th anniversary of the diplomatic relation between China and Malaysia, so what remarkable progress has been made in the economic and trade relationship between our two countries over the past years?
Over the last 50 years, the Chinese economy has grown exponentially. From 1974, when we established diplomatic relationship, to now, Chinese economy has just grown so much. And Chinese economy, from recipient of investment from Malaysia back in the 1980s and 1990s, Chinese economy now is so big that many Chinese investors are investing in Malaysia. The relationship has changed a lot over the last 50 years. But of course, now we are entering into a new situation where the Chinese economy is facing a new global reality, where US-China conflicts has become the dominant situation. And I think Malaysia and China will be able to find a new way to collaborate, where Malaysia becomes a very strategic partner to the Chinese economy by providing a space for Chinese economy to maneuver in the new global situation.
Okay. So since we noticed that last year Malaysia's GDP growth is 3.7%, which is a bit lower than the expectation of 3.8%. So how do you view the current situation of Malaysia's economy?
The Malaysian economy will grow steadily. We are now entering a period where we have a stable government after a while, and the Malaysian society is very stable as a society, and we're located in a strategic location. And under the current global situation where corporations are looking to build a second supply chain outside China, both for Chinese companies and also for Western companies. The semiconductor industry, particularly in Malaysia, will play a role to somehow be able to welcome investment from everyone. And we think we'll grow. We'll grow in the following sectors. We'll grow because this is for the first time in many years, we will see reindustrialization. Over the last 20 years, we have seen a steady decline of industrialization. We have experienced premature deindustrialization over the last 20 years, but now we are seeing reindustrialization, and that I think will be a growth engine. The second growth engine is technological upgrade. The Malaysian economy for the last 20 years has been playing in the low productivity, low wage, low technological realm. But now we will be in a situation where we think we'll have upgrade of technology, we'll pay people more, we'll also use a lot more digitalization, innovation, and also what they call automation. The third engine of growth is green technology or green transition. We are still very dependent on ICE car. We're very dependent on old technology. We have not actually taken the green transition like many other countries yet, but that will be an engine of growth. And we also believe that in the years to come, we will have a larger middle class, and middle class will require a lot more services, childcare, aged care, medical care, and that will be a strong growth factor as well. And we also think that the fifth engine of growth is Services 2.0. My message here is that we think that Malaysia can be a regional headquarters for Chinese firm, and we think that there will be a Services 2.0 version for Malaysian economy. That will be an engine of growth. And finally, our different regions in the country, for example, Johor and Singapore, we think that region will grow. We also think that different parts of Malaysia will have regional growth as well, and that will also be an engine of growth. So for the years to come, I think we will experience a second economic takeoff, like the first one we experienced. The first Malaysian economic takeoff happened between 1988 and 1997. The economy grew exponentially for a period of time. We think we will repeat that in the years to come.
Okay, thank you for providing us so many details. We want to go deeper because since this year, Malaysia has proposed a series of economic development, such as Prosperous Malaysia Economic Framework, National Energy Transition Roadmap, and even the 12th Malaysia Plan.
Yeah, we also have a new industrial master plan.
Yeah. So what are some highlights of those plans? And what do these plans indicate the development goal of the Malaysia's economy?
Broadly, if you want to use a very simple way of explaining this, is that for the longest of time, the Malaysian economy has been trapped in a middle income trap. Now, World Bank created this word, middle income trap, or we have been trapped in this middle income trap, where we have not grown exponentially. We have not actually acquired technology in a fast pace. But what these plans that you have just mentioned intend to do, generally, we want to tech up. We want to be more at the front end of technology. We want to green up. We want to be at the forefront of green transition. And we want to create a more prosperous society. So Malaysians will be paid better. The Malaysian industry will be at the forefront of global economy. So that is a general sense of what we want to create.
Okay, so I believe that Minister, you attended a meeting related to the program Two Countries Twin Parks a few days ago. So we want to go deeper into this topic. Could you tell us the original intention of establishing the program Two Countries Twin Parks?
The Two Country Twin Park was a program between the two countries since 2012. So in 2012, the two prime ministers, the Prime Minister of Malaysia and the Premier of China, both launched a park on both sides in order to create collaboration between the two countries. Of course, the collaboration between the two countries are not restricted to these two parks, but these two parks serve as a symbol and testimony of collaboration between the two countries, and it also serves as an example for other parks that China had with other countries subsequently. Of course, now we have to deal with the situation how to upgrade, how to bring high quality development to different parts of, to both parts. And also we need to deal with a mismatch. For instance, there are not enough Malaysian companies that invest in the Qingzhou Park in Guangxi, compared to Chinese investors in the Kuantan Park in Malaysia. So one of the ways that we hope that we can deal with this together with the Chinese government is to create differentiated industry. That means we're trying to source Malaysian companies or Malaysian companies that provide services and industry that, say, Guangxi doesn't have. So that it's differentiated and we can and they find ways to, they will think that it's profitable and it's workable, realistic for them to invest in Guangxi. So, trade and economic development comes with a lot of coordinations. We will have to deal with competitions, we will have to deal with government providing policies to help to make things happen. So, we hope that the next 10 years of these two parks will bring different level and very solid collaboration between the two countries.
And you've mentioned that you said this trip in China this time, some kind help with your ideas about this program. So how is the details? Can you elaborate that?
Broadly, we think that in Kuantan in Malaysia, there needs to be upgraded to the new high-end industry rather than industries that China may not necessarily require. So the level of complexity of industry may have to go up. And whereas as far as the Qingzhou Park is concerned, we need to find and source Malaysian investors that provide services and industry that Guangxi may not have. So that is the general view of upgrade. But broadly, this trip that I am in China, it is not just about the two parks. I want to send a message to corporate China, to corporations in China, that we hope we can create a new perception of Malaysia. So many Chinese corporations look at Malaysia as a better version of, say, Vietnam, Thailand, or Indonesia. But these are countries with huge population and with demographic dividend. Malaysia is a much smaller country. We have 33 million population. We do not have demographic dividend. However, we are very strong with our human capital. We have very strong multilingual workforce, people who are able to handle multicultural situation, and we have a very strong infrastructure. We have 2 ports among the top 15 ports in the world, the Tanjung Pelepas port as well as the port, Klang port. Both ports are actually among the top 15 ports in the world. Malaysia is a potential location for Chinese firms that are venturing out to choose to locate their regional headquarters. The main purpose of my trip this round is to create a new impression, a new perception of Malaysia and China.
Okay, so you've told us many advantages of Malaysia for doing business there, and then you've mentioned several times, even before, that you hope that Malaysia will be the destination for Chinese enterprises to set up their regional headquarters. So how do you view the current situation of Chinese enterprises investing in Malaysia now, and what will be your future plan for making this business happen?
Well, of course, if we take a larger perspective, Chinese firms are now looking to venture out. I have the following points to make. Number one, I will think that Chinese firms in the long run as a whole, corporate China as a whole, shouldn't be just forever thinking of exporting to Europe and US alone. For Chinese firms to grow organically, globally, I think it's important to think about how to make Southeast Asia, maybe even Africa and Latin America rich. If Southeast Asian societies become much richer in the next 10, 15 years, it certainly will be a major market. And I urge the Chinese industries, the Chinese firms to see the long-term future of Southeast Asia and to build very deep roots and ties in Southeast Asia for their long-term expansion. So that the Chinese firms that are investing in Southeast Asia, they are not just thinking of setting up shops to export to the US and Europe alone, but actually to think of building very strong supply chain with domestic supplier, with Malaysians, with Indonesians, with the Thai, so that they can be deeply rooted in Southeast Asia.
So we want to go into the Belt and Road Initiative, since Malaysia is one of the pioneer countries that respond to the Belt and Road Initiative to China. Last year is the 10th anniversary of BRI, and our company SFC even made a documentary, and many of our reporters went to Malaysia for the documentary. So how do you think about the BRI help the economic cooperation between China and Malaysia, and what will be the future prospect for it?
The first phase of Belt and Road, there were many major projects. But increasingly, at the meeting last year, you mentioned about 小而美, small and beautiful, and about projects that connect the people. I think the next phase of Belt and Road will have to really think about small and beautiful, connecting people, connecting hearts and minds. And it is important to see that, and this is my hope and my wish, that in China there will be a lot more people studying Malaysian economy. In Malaysia there will be a lot more people studying Chinese economy, and beyond, not just economy, but studying contemporary China as a society. Why? I think it is important to build deeper understandings and connections, so that Belt and Road is not just about infrastructure projects. There are some, and many of those infrastructure projects that were quite good, but there are also infrastructure projects that needs to be improved. But the point is that Belt and Road in the next decades shouldn't just be about infrastructure projects. It should be about small and beautiful projects that connects the hearts and minds of people.
So it's also worth noting that China's import and export volume in the first quarter to the other 14 member countries of RCEP reaches 3.08 trillion yuan with an increase of 2.7%. So the RCEP right now has already came into effect more than 2 years. How do you think the consequence and outcome of it, and what impact will it bring to the China-Malaysia's cooperation economy?
RCEP is a great invention, great collaboration, and we think that RCEP will bring a lot more benefits to everyone, to the Chinese and to also other participants. But moving forward, because the Chinese economy is very strong and the Chinese capacity, manufacturing capacity is very strong, the Chinese technology is really almost at the forefront. The challenge for countries like Malaysia is that our size is small. Our economic size is relatively small compared to the Chinese economy. The Chinese economy was about 17 trillion US dollar. The US economy was 24 trillion US dollar. Just Guangzhou alone, the size of GDP was already about 400 over billion US dollar. Just like the size of Malaysian economy. So if China grew by 5% annually, each year China will produce 2 Malaysian economy. So in terms of capacity, there is always a mismatch. When it comes to collaboration between manufacturing sector, it is not easy because the Chinese manufacturing sector is huge and very efficient, technologically strong. But when it comes to collaboration on services, we have a lot to offer. We have a lot to offer that the Chinese economy may not offer, or may not provide. So in the long run, the Chinese economy may have to consider how to expand on services. And the Chinese economy will need to move not just focusing on manufacturing, but it has to go into a lot more services. With a much stronger services sector in the Chinese economy, it will be able to absorb a Malaysians export of services, and not just manufacturing goods, because it's not easy for the Malaysian economy to produce manufactured goods and export to China, because the Chinese manufacturing sector is very strong. Yeah. So I think this will require the Chinese economy to adjust at some point. And of course, in the years to come, and I strongly believe that the Chinese economy will grow a lot more in the services sector, and we will be able to find a matching point much better.
Okay, so you've mentioned the high quality development before, so I believe you had much knowledge about it. So in your view, how do you understand the high quality development, and how do you think China's high quality development will bring the opportunities to the cooperation between the two countries or the Malaysian business?
High quality development means development that change people's life for the better. Green transition is a good case in point. In China, China is leading green transition. China is using technology, new technology, to change the life of people by getting them to depend more on solar than just electricity. By getting more people into using EV instead of ICE car. By getting people to use a lot more technology, better communication technology. So the point is that development should bring benefit to ordinary people. Investment should make people live a better life, should help people live a better life, a more meaningful life, a life that is less polluting. So when we think about collaboration between Malaysia and China, we will have to start thinking about how to ensure that whatever investment from China into Malaysia now will create better life for Malaysian people. And together with Malaysian people, together with the Malaysian businesses, we build better China-Malaysian collaboration, not just at the government-to-government level, but at the firm-to-firm level. And this is not easy. This is not easy because businesses are there to make money. But how to ensure that businesses are there not just making money, but actually creating a better society, a healthier society, a society that is a lot more green. And so, I mean, these are the questions that we will have to answer. And when we think about partnership, partnership is not just government to government. Partnership is people to people, which we have very strong people to people relationship. But partnership is also about business to businesses. How do we ensure that Chinese businesses, which are very huge in size, at the forefront of technology, how do they collaborate with Malaysian businesses so that it is a win-win situation? I mean, these are challenges that we will have to face so that we can build long-lasting partnerships.
Okay, as it's known that Malaysian government is also paying a lot of attention to green development and digital economy. So in these emerging fields, what role do China play in the world, in your opinion? And what achievement did China obtain?
So as I say, the Chinese economy is moving very fast in green transition. Solar, in what they call technology, communication technology, in EV. And these technologies are very good. So the question now is how do we translate this technology into usage in Malaysia, but also when whatever developed in China, when it's transplanted to Malaysia, it is not just a sales to Malaysian people, but actually collaboration in manufacturing, collaboration in services, collaboration in R&D. I mean, these are the things that we are hoping to create so that the Chinese companies, when they come to Malaysia, they are not thinking of just selling to Malaysian people. They are thinking of working together with the Malaysian people. Likewise, when it comes to investment in Malaysia, we are hoping that the Chinese companies see Malaysia as a regional headquarters, looking at Malaysia as a place where we can work together to build a global business, and not just using Malaysia as a manufacturing hub for export. So those are difficult questions that I think we should start exploring. And the more we discuss, the more we'll find a very, very long-lasting collaboration or partnership.
Okay, last but not least, since we are standing in the GBA right now at this moment, and GBA is serving as the innovation hub of our country. So how do you think about the Greater Bay Area, and what future cooperations may be built between the GBA, Guangdong, with Malaysia?
GBA, of the few large economy in China, Shanghai, Beijing, Chongqing area, and GBA. GBA is closest to Southeast Asia and closest to Malaysia. My hope is that in the long run, the Malaysian economy will have much deeper tie and more sophisticated linkages between the Malaysian economy and the Chinese economy. Number one, I'm hoping to see that the Malaysian or Kuala Lumpur Stock Exchange will have deeper relationship with the Shenzhen Stock Exchange. How deep, how fast, what sort of program, we will leave it to them to decide. But this visit of mine included a visit to Shenzhen Stock Exchange with a clear message. I want to see a lot more collaboration between those two stock exchanges, to the extent that one day, maybe years to come, people who are on both sides can trade on each other's stocks. Not easy, but possible. I also hope that the financial institutions between the insurance companies, the banks in GBA will work closer with the Malaysian banks so that it can facilitate a lot more collaboration. Our Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim spoke about using renminbi and ringgit to trade. He spoke about this at the Boao Forum. How do we create more usage of renminbi and ringgit to trade? It is not easy because companies would want to keep some dollar, companies would prefer to trade in dollars, but there are opportunities. And the financial institutions in Shenzhen, and to a lesser extent in other parts of Guangdong, and of course in Hong Kong, this is an opportunity for us to see how to trade more and to create more opportunities to trade in renminbi and ringgit. And beyond that is really to build company to company level R&D collaboration. And Shenzhen, and to a lesser extent other part of Guangdong, is also the leading technology hub. How do we build technological collaboration? Collaborating on R&D on, say, for example, medical research, biomedical, on various products, technology. I think we have a lot of opportunity to work together, and GBA, of course, Greater Bay, of course, is closest to where we are, and I hope all these collaborations will happen in the years to come.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you very
all
much.
for my questions
Thank
today.
You. Thank
you
you
for your time and patience.
Thank you. Thank you.